Let's learn how to paint Clovis from Zombicide under 90 minutes today.
That the entirety of the cosmos is accessible through each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the channel, collectors. So, as part of our Painter in 90 Minutes challenge, today we'll be painting Clovis but with a twist. Today I'll be painting Clovis with pre-mixed colors rather than how I usually do by mixing on the fly. Because my painting technique usually requires me to mix on the fly, today I'm going to try to see if painting with colors which I pre-mixed already would make it a lot faster and make it easier to go back and forth, because sometimes the steps before get erased from the mixing process. So if you're ready, let us begin. Alright, welcome back. So today I'll be painting Clovis the Knight from Zombicide Green Horde. So today what I'm going to do slightly differently is that, you know, my normal style where I just randomly mix the colors and I start to adjust the colors accordingly. Today I'm going to try to pre-mix 6 different values and colors for the non-metallic metal and the cloak to make sure that I'm able to go back and forth with the entire miniature. Okay, I will need to apologize in advance because the wet palette footage for the second half got accidentally erased, and there might not be a wet palette in the second half. But as you guys can see, the colors have already been pre-mixed, so you guys will have a good example. So first and foremost, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix in dark sea green and black, dark sea blue and black rather, and gradually I'm gonna start mixing in some few blue, and I'm gonna add in some flesh tone, juice on your flesh tone. Now I'm starting to create the mid-tone. As you guys can see, in this mid-tone I'm trying to make it slightly desaturated. So I'm adding in the flesh tone with the blue. The flesh tone is an orange base with blue, which is obviously blue. So these two colors tend to balance and neutralize each other. The last color I added was a bit of ivory. Okay, starting with the first color. I started painting in the large highlights on the cloak. So at this stage you want to make sure that you are quite liberal with the base coating, because you want to make sure that the highlights are large enough so that you can gradually zone into the individual shapes when you want to highlight later. Okay, for Clovis the Knight, what's really important is that we pre-mixed all the colors so that, as you guys can see, when I'm placing one color, sometimes I go back to the previous color to smoothen the blends. It gives me this ability because it's a lot faster than the previous style of painting, because I don't have to remix the exact color again. But at the same time, I feel that sometimes the colors do lack a bit of precision, because we are obviously pre-mixing, and the advantage of post-mixing and adjusting sort of like gives it a smoother flow. So this is more beneficial if you are looking to do smoother blends, and the previous style was more suitable when I was doing more just color transitions rather than smooth blends. I believe that both styles have its advantages, but today, as with all my subsequent challenges, I would like to try something new to see whether I can learn something from this experience or not. So as you guys can see, Clovis is generally made out of 1 to 2 main colors, because his armor is also a dark iron metal armor thing, and his cloak is black. We can generally use the same colors as we did with Nelly. So I'm just filling in the rest of the cloth, which is on the front of the model. It's very important to note that when you are highlighting cloth, you want to do it as an entire volume rather than the individual folds. Right now I'm starting to mix the base color for the iron. So it's done using black and red oxide for the base color and gradually adding more ivory into the mix. So as you guys can see, this warm color is going to very nicely contrast with the cool highlights, which I eventually added more fuel blue and ivory into this mix. This warm shadow also gives it an impression that there's some degree of rusting that's happening on his armor because he's been fighting a lot, and I guess in a zombie apocalypse you don't really have an opportunity to clean and polish your armor. I'm also going to use this same base coat color to base coat his head, because with male models having a brown undertone tend to look a little bit more masculine, whereas female models I tend to use more reds and more purples, give them a more cooler skin tone, whereas males I like to give them a bit of a warmer skin tone to make them feel a bit more hot-blooded, where females probably can look a little bit more controlled and cool. So as you guys can see, with all the colors pre-mixed, it's a lot easier to blend, because what I do is I slap on the highlight color and then I go back to the previous color to make a blend. So forgive the ambulance, during the time of recording there's some ambulance at the back. Alright, so as you guys can see, when I'm doing non-metallic metal, I'm still highlighting the entire volume rather than the individual components first. So as per the heroes, I'm going to be giving him an orange glow to make this miniature coherent with the rest of the other miniatures. So if you have a wet palette, I highly recommend that you do this method of mixing. So it's been almost 10 minutes and you're still here. I thank you for watching for so long. But if you can, please click the like and subscribe so that you see more of our videos. We post videos every day now, and I hope that you don't miss out on any of our videos. Okay, as you guys can see, once I'm moving up to the highlights, the non-metallic metal armor really starts to pop. I'm still using the same technique, throwing in some highlights, then going back to the previous colors to blend. Non-metallic metal is really starting to shine. I like you guys to pay close attention to the shapes, because the shapes play a big part when you are painting non-metallic metals. And now I'm starting to do individual part separation. This allows the entire armor to be more readable rather than just being one chunk of grey. So as part of this Painted in 90 Minutes challenge, I like to add little twists and little tweaks to my painting style to make sure that I sort of learn something and experiment on something every day. I find that this method allows me to accelerate my opportunity to learn, and it's a very good exercise which I recommend to all you painters out there. So now we have just done up the base color for the silver swords. I'm going to start adding some orange and brown soon. To illustrate the orange glow coming from the bottom. Right now, as you guys can see, I'm trying to do some part separation between the sword and the armor. The armor where it has a warm shadow, I'm trying to make the swords a lot more shiny, so they inherently have a cool shadow to begin with. So these small little details give you the opportunity to differentiate the materials even though you are using largely the same colors. Now placing in the reflected light from the burning village. So I decided to do more part separation. Wanted to make sure that the loincloth is a different color compared to the rest of the other cloths. Decided to start picking out some details on the leather straps. So this time I'd like to bring you guys attention to the bottom of the sword, where I did a bit of a highlight. This little bit of highlight was done using flash and orange. You want this little bit of highlight so that the bottom part of the sword is framed and it doesn't get lost into the background. So in the closing parts of the miniature, I'm just base coating the hairs and the face. As you guys can see, the face was done using red, orange, burnt umber. And I'm going to do this in thin coats so that I don't obscure any of the details. So, the same way as cloths, I would like to bring your attention to highlighting of hair. Hair should be highlighted the same way. Hair should be highlighted the same way as you would highlight the cloth. It should be all done in a volume rather than done individually in strands. So Clovis is looking a little bit dead now in the face. I'm gonna need to freshen up his face a little bit more. So I apologize for the lack of wet palette here. Stupid dumbass me decided to delete the file even before I saved it. Genius. So I'm adding in a little bits of detail, a little bit of gold detail here and there. If you want a more detailed version of how I painted the gold, you can check out the non-metallic metal gold video which I've done a couple of weeks back. 22 minutes remaining. I've got to start working on the flash really soon before leaving Clovis a little bit strange. So as per normal in these 90-minute challenges, I would like to re-emphasize that because we don't really have a lot of time to make sure that the face is perfectly painted, you should be focusing on the brows, the cheeks, the nose and the eyes for the highlights. And make sure that the shape of the nose is correct before confirming it. Don't use whites to paint the eyes because it's just weird. What I'm using here, I'm using Josonia's skin tone, just basic skin tone to paint in the eyes. Too many painters have used white to paint the eyes, which is just weird. As you guys can see, with painting faces, I gradually added a bit more orange and red into the existing mix so that his face doesn't look too cold. Don't want him to look like a zombie. So if you've watched all the way here, consider clicking on our Patreon link to see what's there. Consider being a patron too. If you found this video useful, think I deserve it, please give a like, subscribe, and then we post videos every day now, so don't miss out. Alright, so now I'm just glazing in the shapes and I'll be showing you the final results in just a little bit. I hope you found this useful and I hope to see you more in the Painter in 90 Minutes challenge where I paint one miniature a day. Alright, so this is the final result of the night. I hope you found today's video useful and yeah, have a good day. Alright, I really like the process where I did the pre-mixing because by pre-mixing it allows me to go back and forth and allows me to create smoother blends before colors. I feel that this process is really beneficial because it sort of has an undo function, so that when you are painting you can easily go back to the previous step and make corrections when you need to, and you can always add the highlight and then dump some of the previous colors to create a very smooth blend. Do you find this tutorial useful? Let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, you know the drill, just like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all that stuff. We post videos every day so you don't want to miss out. So I would like to thank my patrons for allowing this to happen. If you really can afford it, become a patron today, alright? To all patrons, you guys get extended stuff so that you guys get to scrutinize every single brush stroke. I really like to appreciate all my patrons for allowing me to produce videos like this, and hope to see you in the next video.